Hi, I'm Alex Howard and welcome to this video where we're going to be exploring 3 of the biggest misconceptions around fatigue-related conditions. This is to include ME, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, post-viral fatigue syndrome, also Lyme co-infections, really any condition where fatigue is the main symptom of what's happening. So here's misconception number 1. There's a single cause and therefore there'll be a single answer. This is based on germ theory, the work of Louis Pasteur, which is that you find a single pathogen, a single invader in the body, and you need to find a single way of nuking, of addressing that pathogen. That works fine when you're dealing with traditional viral illness, when you're dealing with also simple things like you might break a bone and that bone needs to be set and you need to make sure you're careful with it, but then a natural healing process can happen. When you're dealing with chronic illness, you're generally dealing with multiple systems at different stages affected in different subtypes of what might be happening. And the recognition and the definition of those different subtypes and stages and systems can be crucial to being able to map a path to recovery. This leads on to the second big misconception, that recovery is not possible. Well, recovery is not possible if you're trying to find one single answer that's going to work for everyone. The reality is that people can have exactly the same symptoms, but they can have a different bodily system which is causing those symptoms. They could be at a different stage of the healing journey, and therefore a different sequence of intervention may be important to address that. You see, some of the incredible arrogance of certain pockets of mainstream medicine is that we know everything there is to know about the human body, and if we can't find this one single cause, there is no cause. If we can't find what's wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you. But also at the other side of the arrogance of that perspective is that if we don't know what the answer is, then no one knows what the answer is. But you see, if you recognize there are different stages, different systems, different sequencing of intervention, then suddenly recovery becomes possible. Because we can work with an individual, we can decode what's causing the different symptoms happening in their body and understand the different variables that may be going on, and we can then map a path to recovery. The third misconception is that you just need to push through. If you just try harder, then you'll feel better. There's a very big difference between chronic fatigue and depression. Now, depression is a very real and quite horrendous experience to go through. But with depression, all we want to do is we want to climb into bed, we want to hide away from the world. With chronic fatigue, it's often the opposite. All we want to do is to climb out of bed and come into the world, but we haven't got the energy to do so. Now, many people that develop fatigue-related conditions, actually their tendency, the research shows, that their tendency is actually towards pushing harder. In fact, their body says no and their mind says, let's keep going. And that constant pushing through is often what deepens the experience of fatigue. You cannot solve a problem at the level it's being created. And if you've constantly pushed your body and that's been a variable in worsening the experience of fatigue, you're not just going to be able to push your way out of that. You can't push your way to recovery. You have to heal your way to recovery. So misconception 1, there's one single cause, there's one single answer. Misconception number 2 is that recovery is not possible. And I'm here to tell you it absolutely is. Misconception number 3, you just need to push, you just need to try harder. The truth is that will often make things worse, not better. I've been working with fatigue-related conditions for nearly 20 years, having had my own journey of chronic fatigue, which lasted for 7 years. And I am deeply passionate about getting to the root cause of what's going on in somebody's body and helping them map a path to recovery. I'm doing a free 5-day challenge where you can really learn a model that will help you to decode your fatigue and map your path to recovery. It's completely free. Please do register. I can't wait to see you as part of this challenge.